Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Joshi. I work as a program lead at Center for Water and Sanitation. I welcome you all here today for the WASH Innovation and Technology and Service Delivery technical session. In this session, we have 5 presentations, and we'll start with our first presentation. Our first presenter is Dr. Kaushik Ghosh. He will be talking about case studies of bioengineering using NBS for strengthening resilience in WASH. Dr. Ghosh works at Netaji Subhas Administrative Training Institute, Government of West Bengal. Over to you, sir. We have 10 minutes for the presentation. You will be given a reminder at 3 minutes and followed by 3 minutes of Q&A.
Thank you very much. So good afternoon. We started a bit late. The topic is case studies in bioengineering using NBS for strengthening resilience in WASH. As we know, we are talking about climate resilience in this workshop. So, climate resilience essentially boils down to how we mitigate the impact of climate-related disasters before and also afterwards. So in this regard, there are some methods, mainly under the arena of bioengineering, which is using plants to heal nature. And there are some direct benefits, resilience benefits, and there are some indirect resilience benefits. In bioengineering, since time is short, I'll be fast. There is bioremediation, which includes remediation using all living organisms, bacteria, plants, etc. Phytoremediation is a subset of bioremediation, and within phytoremediation, one method is phytosoil stabilization. The direct benefits of climate resilience are flood control, drought resilience, water quality retention. And the indirect benefits are biodiversity conservation, livelihood generation, and carbon sequestration. Also, we have a scope for strengthening social cohesion. So, how phytoremediation works is it involves plants and microorganisms, as I said, and what the plants do is they absorb, break down, or stabilize or extract harmful substances like heavy metals and organic substances, organic pollutants, and it is part of bioremediation. There are various methods, I will not go into the detail. Now, the point is, many plants do this job. Which plant do we accept as appropriate? What qualities should that plant have? We have, if that plant could be polluted water resistant, if it could be adverse climate resistant, like some areas witness extremes of temperatures, morning very cold, evening or in the middle of the day very hot. If, is it working? If the plant could be adverse soil resistant, like it could grow in a range of different soil conditions like saline, sodic. If it is drought resistant, it would be great bonus. If it is submergence resistant, we are a very flood prone nation. Many areas witness flood. Immediately after the planting, if this place is submerged, then many plants die. But if that plant could be submergence resistant, it would be an added bonus. Animal resistant. While the plant is growing, cattle come and eat the plants, and then we have to replant again. Non-invasive. You must have all heard about Parthenium. One seed grows in one particular field and it takes over the entire field. Now, if this plant is more or less sterile by nature, you plant it there, it grows there. It doesn't take over the entire field. Heavy metals uptake capacity. If we are talking about remediation of wastewater and waste soil, then it will be filled with heavy metals. Most plants die because of the shock. So, if the plant can have heavy metal uptake capacity. Nutrient intake. Nitrogen, phosphorus are considered nutrients. So, overdose of nitrogen and phosphorus in the environment can cause harm to the plants and the water bodies. Easy multiplication. We do not need scientists to multiply this plant. It will take unskilled laborers, and then it is easily multipliable, easily replicable. And of course, local availability. In spite of having all these qualities, if we have to import the plant from a foreign country at a high cost, it makes no sense. So such a plant is, the Chrysopogon zizanoides, which is vetiver as we commonly known as. It is a grass. It looks like this. Some of it is above the ground. Large part of it is under the ground. Each and every part of this plant is usable for different purposes. It is written down here. What is important is this root system, which has great capacity to uptake nutrients and heavy metals, which goes a long way in cleaning the pollutants. The areas of intervention are mainly the flowing water bodies and the stagnant water bodies that are very commonly seen in our cities. How it works is the hydroponic vetiver system. Now, the vetiver is a macrophyte. It does not grow naturally on water. Like lotus or duckweed, which floats on water naturally, this plant cannot float on water. So it needs kind of an island or a platform for it to float. So if a floatable raft can be prepared using plastic or foam or something like that, then it can float. It throws down its roots in the water body, and the water body, the roots create a biofilm below, which acts as the main game changer in addressing pollution. It looks like this. This is a tiller. It is sold like this, and then it goes from 3 through 20, roughly like that, and it forms a clump. So different ways in which the vetiver works: absorbs heavy metals. It is called phytoextraction. Phytostabilization is the root system can stabilize pollutants in the soil by binding it to the root tissues. Also rhizofiltration, where the roots act as a filter. Okay, already? Okay. And phytostabilization. I'll quickly go to the case studies. These are the materials we have to create a hydroponic vetiver system using coir geologs, jute geotextile, bamboo pegs. We had done hydroponic treatment of a water body in Rishra, West Bengal in 2017. It was a usual urban water body which was being polluted through market waste water. Community mobilization was done, and the surroundings were cleaned up. Local participation was called for. Local youth came forward, created the geologs, and then this vetiver was planted on these floating platforms. Along with it was this, what do you call this? Kolaboti we call it in Bengali. So these have red and white flowers which make it look like a garden. So, and we also use the aerobic solar aerators for additional results. So this was the before picture and this was the after picture. We conducted some water quality tests and it showed dramatic results as far as BOD, COD, TDS were concerned. Then another application of vetiver is canal embankment restoration. It was done in Calcutta, Beleghata, where coco peat was used and the entire embankment was covered with jute geotextile, and after that the vetiver was planted upon. It picked up very firmly, and it worked in two ways. First, it arrested the soil debris, and next it arrested the pollutants and the runoff water from driving the soil in the water. So we have another project of embankment stabilization. This kind of soil is called kaolinite. It is it has a lot of silica, and it goes down entirely after a rainfall into the canal. So again, the dredging was done, the land was leveled, speed breakers were put in place, and the entire field of 20,000 square meter was covered with jute geotextile and planted upon So this was the before and the after picture where it picked up even in this kind of soil. That is the point I am trying to make. And the last case study is in Bokaro power plant in Jharkhand, where a 5,500 meter fly ash dump site was stabilized. So I'll just quickly breeze through. And it has a 100 meter height and 55 meter wide, very steep mound, very difficult to plant on fly ash, no soil condition. Some biomass was given for initial growth, and this is the growth in 1 month, and this is the before and after picture. We did a larger project there also, 10,500 square meter, and it was fully stabilized. Highway stop stabilization we have not yet done, but this is another application of vetiver. And it has created livelihoods generation also. Local nurseries have come up. Handicrafts is an offshoot of this kind of grass. So these are the main 4 applications for climate resilience of vetiver: wastewater management, embankment protection, highway slope stabilization, and dump site stabilization. Thank you.
Hello. Thank you, Dr. Kaushik, for that insightful presentation. Do we have any questions? Yeah.
Yes, please.
Hello, my name is Bhupesh Gupta. Very, very nice presentation.
Thank you, sir.
And my much congratulate you. So my question is that means generally how much time it takes to cleanse a average size of a pond, like you have shown before and after picture. Means how many weeks or months it takes?
3 months.
Second question.
3 months.
3 months it takes. So means how, what is the improvement there? Means how much improvement is there?
So the project duration was for 3 months, from initial to final. And during that time, we took intermediate water quality results.
Okay.
So after 3 months, it showed remarkable progress.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
And what is, after how much time you need to replace these plants? What is the life of these
plants? In our kind of climate can live up to 10 years also.
Okay.
And if not more.
Yes.
And there have been records of plants living up to 60 years also.
Okay.
So, but that is difficult to determine. From time to time, one can see and replace.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
So this is the same species which is used for the aromatic purpose?
This is the South Indian variety, which is the best quality all over the world. The Chrysopogon nigrantanus is the African variety, and Nemoralis is Southeast Asian variety, and Zizanoides is Indian variety. So the South Indian variety is considered the best for this kind of art, and the North Indian and South Indian varieties both lead to oil extraction also. Yeah. Please.
Sorry, I entered a little late while your presentation was already on. Just a question like, if the pond or the lake already has water hyacinth scenario, maybe you have already covered that. But in that condition, how this technology can help the NBS system?
So I didn't show you the pictures. We had a lot of natural water hyacinth there. So it's like a weed. The water hyacinth has to be moved out. So we created a geo barrier using coil logs, floating coil logs as barrier to keep out the water hyacinth. Water hyacinth will take over anything. It's like a parasite. Yeah. It has to be removed.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. I'm sorry, since you were already on the stage, we started with the session, but I would like to introduce him. Sorry, better late than never. Dr. Ghosh is an architect, urban designer and urban planner with over 20 years of multidisciplinary experience. He is an internationally published scholar, CEDA and TAG fellow, global conference participant, guest faculty at leading institutions, and has directed 350 plus training programs for municipal functionaries across multiple Indian states. Thank you so much, sir, for sharing all those insights with us. And we do have an evening where I think participants can discuss further. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So with this, we move towards our next session, which is again around NBS. So the presentation is on moving towards water secure and climate resilient cities. And I will request Priyadarshini, Arwa and Dipti from Center for Water and Sanitation, CRDF-CEPT University to present. Ms. Arwa is Program Lead, Ms. Priyadarshini is Lead Research Associate, and Ms. Dipti Tanna is Senior Research Associate at CWAS, each of them bringing 10 plus years of multidisciplinary experience. Their work spans a diverse CWAS project, including the ones focusing on climate resilience, water security, sanitation, and inclusive development. Over to you.
Thanks, Kasturi. I'm Priyadarshini, Dipti and Arwa. So we'll be presenting something about water security. These are some of the initiatives which we have taken in two states of like Maharashtra and Gujarat. So to begin with, so since yesterday we are talking about how the climate vulnerability and everything is affecting us all. And this is something which we all have discussed so far, so I don't want to put more time into this. Further going down, we have tried to capture that how in Gujarat, the Kutch region, that is getting affected, like there's erratic rainfall and how it was earlier drought prone area. And now they are facing the urban flooding scenarios. So that is something the cities are struggling. For Maharashtra, there is intensified erratic rainfall patterns causing all these flood situations. So these are the situations. So on one side we do not have water, and on the other side we have these flooding situations. Further, we also try to understand from the water scenario from service level benchmarking perspective for the two cities. So one thing which we all know that the cities have intermittent supply, which is like non-daily supply. And we found that like in our research and studies, we found that how it is it gives you a lot of economical and public health risk when it is an intermittent system. Further, if you go for intermittent system, we also have to look for more alternative sources like tank water supply and bottled water for drinking and all those. And this is something which is like the poor people are most vulnerable for that. So to understand all those perspectives, we also try to understand that how in both the states, dependency on surface water was there. And we all know that surface water is something which is, again, has a vulnerability towards the climate. So this is our understanding and how cities need to move from non-daily to daily supply. State government as well as central government, they have come up with many schemes which talks about rainwater harvesting, groundwater recharge. And these are a few of the initiatives where we can leverage such kind of project are mentioned here. So talking about the water security perspectives which we are covering in our projects. So in Gujarat, what we are focusing is we are looking for a integrated approach where we are doing a complete assessment of the existing system. Then we are developing water security action plan for the cities. Further, we are also doing some implementation pilot projects, and that we are taking as a scale-up activities through leveraging through all these schemes, government schemes. Further, in Maharashtra, we are focusing on nature-based solutions, where we are going for rainwater harvesting and groundwater recharging. To achieve the last mile connectivity, we are going for mini pipe water supply schemes. Further, also some sponge parks, we have that concept also we are exploring. And these are the cities where we are working. Anjar, Gandhidham in Gujarat and Ichalkaranji in Maharashtra. Further, Dipti will take you through the work which we have done.
Thank you, Priyadarshini. As Priyadarshini explained, what we have done is we have prepared action plans for the cities, and then based on that we have actually identified the areas or the outcomes that are possible. So we literally did how, what, why, and the outcome wala part. Based on that, we did two certain exercises. One, we did geohydrological study for both the cities in Gujarat. We wanted the municipal bodies to take these projects, so we wanted to give them a platform where they can understand what is the system in their cities, and then it would be easy to take these actions. So we prepared groundwater recharge geohydrological study and gave them groundwater recharge techniques. So zone-wise we have proposed the techniques for them. And just to understand or connect more people with us, we did a lot of IEC and capacity building exercises. So to make people aware, we did water fairs And to train people, we did workshops with engineers and plumbers. So we have people who can design the system, we have people who can implement the system for the user. Apart from that, we did a lot of pilot demonstration, and we did pilot demonstration at various scales. So at urban flooding areas, we showcased how it can be mitigated. At institution level, we showed rainwater harvesting and groundwater recharge techniques. And we also did a lot of community-based recharge systems. So here you can actually see we have Anganwadi model, which is community-based. We have rainwater harvesting in a group school. And we have institution level rainwater harvesting. We also did a rainwater harvesting theme park, which is Gujarat's first rainwater harvesting theme park. We did it at one of the existing lakes in the city. The question about water hyacinth is about this particular project. So here what we did was, for maximum people, we have showcased various methods. So there are rooftop rainwater harvesting techniques which people can adapt in their houses. There are institution level systems which people can do in their common plots or at institution level. And then there are traditional methods and various methods and materials which are locally available. We also, so the geohydrological study, based on that, we actually supported city to identify possible locations. And now the city has taken it up and they have prepared, they are doing groundwater recharge under one of the government program, and so far this is in action. So the city got like around 3 crore, 5 crore sort of budget to implement these projects. I can do. Now what, so this is already done. Now we are moving towards daily supply. For that, what we are doing is, we have identified an area, this area. So this is Gandhidham city's plan. What we have done is we have located an area, and then in this particular zone we are attempting to do daily supply, in which we have identified the major ESR which is supplying in this area. We have identified major lines, and then we have developed certain strategies, and we actually did one first trial run for that. So to check the pressure and everything in the system. And now we are developing a detailed map how the city can take it up, and we can start this particular ward as a daily supply ward. For that, we actually also did plumbers training. We did awareness generation thing for the residents of that area, and now this is being worked on. For the next session,
yeah.
Arwa will present.
Thanks. So Priyadarshini mentioned about Maharashtra facing climate risk. So I'll be talking about a city in Maharashtra called Ichalkaranji. So now this city is one which faces scarcity during the summer, and during the monsoon it gets flooded, not due to river, but due to the infrastructure not working well. And that's the reason it has high dependency on bore wells across the city. So the project focuses on nature-based solutions for water security. We have 3 major initiatives here on rainwater harvesting in public places. We have groundwater recharge, again through NBS, and mini-piped water supply for vulnerable areas where there is currently no pipe network. And the 4th is on sponge parks in public gardens. So throughout these 2 days, we have been talking on gender inclusivity, we've been talking on community engagement and on political leadership. So this particular project focuses on all these 3 aspects. The initiatives will be handed over to women SHGs for maintenance, and to the ward councillors would be taking a lead on maintaining these initiatives. And also a lot of awareness needs to be done. That will be done through Jan Sanrakshan Mela, something similar to what we've done in Gandhidham. So currently this project is currently in a very beginning stage. Hopefully next year at GSAC we will be able to share more learnings, mainly on community engagement is something that we are looking to learn more, and we'll be able to share lessons on that. As of now, we have initiated constructions of most of the rainwater harvesting sites, again engaging with the community. Yeah, Just one more slide we have. Over to Dipti.
So we are also exploring innovative technology. We are also exploring innovative technologies to address water supply service chain. In both our projects, in the projects in Gujarat and Maharashtra, what we have tried to do is we have tried to understand the water supply service chain, and at various levels what innovation or challenges are there and what innovation can be taken up. So here what we are proposing is rainwater recharge is a limited period thing. You can actually conserve it for 3 to 4 months where it is raining. So why not air to water or aquifer recharge management, which could be seen as a longer run process. We are also looking at various filtration methods, so advanced filtration, UF, RO systems, which are AI based, so reduction can be we are also looking at digital monitoring, so SCADA system, we are exploring all these systems, and we are also looking at DMA based monitoring. Basically there are a lot of leakage issue or the water wastage issue. We are trying to see how we can incorporate AI and work throughout it. Thank you. We would like to take questions if anyone has it.
Maybe we'll take one question for now, because we also want to be just all the presenters and we want to be
Yeah. Just very quick questions around 2-3 areas. The methodology that you used for hydrogeological or geohydrological, whatever survey to create the map. The second one, do we have the standard for recharging the groundwater from the government side? And also, how do we measure the kind of recharge, the level of, what is the indicator, means of verification that groundwater is being recharged? How do you monitor that? And to what level, the depth of groundwater?
Yeah, thank you for the questions. I think we have 3 questions. So starting with the very first one where you asked about how we did the mapping of the geohydrology thing. So in that we tried to identify all the various bore wells which are there in the city. So there were some listing of government bore wells. Because for the production bore well, they already have some more than, one city had more than 40 and one had like some 15, 20. And then we also had surveys based on like, we went to all the various vendors who are actually doing this. So we tried to understand through that, and we prepared the well inventory, and then we made those grids of 5 by 5 meter. And based on that, we did the interpolation and all those things. And based on that, we developed the... Yes, the logging. And strata also we tried to understand. So this is...
These dots are actually well intervention.
Well, all the wells or which we identified. Second question was on the standards for the groundwater recharging. So basically, we had various technologies. It was again based on the depth we identified for this particular depth. This is the particular technology that can be identified. Further, here if you see, in this area, so we had these 3 different zones. One was a recharge zone. So for that we proposed like artificial recharge tube well, what should be the depth. We proposed like this, and then there is some kind of filter bed which is required. But again, if that area has a flooding situation and there is any spillage of sewage or anything that is happening, leakage or kind of, then it needs to add a charcoal layer. These kind of nuances we added in our suggestion where we gave this guideline to the government. So likewise, we had it for the different regions. So we can share those details. We have the geohydrological report of both the cities on our website. We can definitely share, and you can go through for more details. And the third one, for the impact of recharge, we have installed meters into that. And for like, it has been 1 year, and it is very less in 1 year to quantify that amount. So we have recharged these meters which quantify this volumetric, that how much water has seep into the well. And hopefully in few years we would be able to produce a kind of graph that how much we have actually contributed into the system. Yeah.
Just to add, we do pre-monsoon and post-monsoon analysis also, where we actually measure the depth, which was pre-monsoon and post-monsoon. So based on that only we would be doing, and the meters help us. But in the substrata, it is all connected. So for that, we do pre-monsoon, post-monsoon.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Priyadarshini, Dipti. And we have today is on operationalizing water sanitation regulations in Nepal, a participatory reform journey. The presenter is Mr. Satish Jung Shahi from United Nations Human Settlement Program, Nepal office. Mr. Satish is the coordinator of the Citywide Inclusive Sanitation Alliance Nepal, CWAS-CRDF-CEPT, a 21-member multi-stakeholder coalition to advance inclusive and sustainable sanitation. He brings diverse experience across urban sanitation, development, communications, and academia, having supported municipalities from South Asia and taught management and communication subjects at the graduate level. Mr. Satish, we welcome you to deliver your presentation.
The previous presenters had home ground, so I am from Nepal, international. And then, well, it's South Asia's oldest nation state, and the newest constitution. We had the constitution reworked in 2015, and then the constitution sort of clearly defined water supply and sanitation as a fundamental right. And then that is what I will be dwelling into. So throughout my presentation for 10 minutes, I've tried to put this up in a very simplistic manner. That's what our work is, because it's regulation related. So we want to reach out to the public in a very simple manner as possible. So namaste, salam alaikum, good evening, Jai Shri Krishna, and Kem Cho, if I'm right. In my presentation, I've sort of outlined, first of all, I will be dwelling into the legal, for the past 1 year, Nepal had South Asia's, I think, the first regulation on water supply and sanitation. It was promulgated by the government last January 2025. So since the past 1 year, I'll try to sum up what we've been doing and the efforts that Nepal could actually make it to the international arena, and then sort of a learning session and sharing among its regional colleagues. So I represent UN Habitat Nepal office, and then I look after an alliance called Citywide Inclusive Sanitation Alliance Nepal, or SWISAN. India has a similar NFSSM. Bangladesh has FSM network. So SWISAN is totally Nepal organizations of 21 organizations working in safe sanitation, and UN Habitat is the secretariat. And I think it's the only alliance with two UN agencies as members. So we have UN Habitat is a focal point for water supply and sanitation with the Nepali government. UNICEF is for emergency WAS. First I will look into the legal foundation, how it's actually working, and then I will go on to the service operation and institutional landscape of how that operation is actually taking place within the Nepal, and then regulation startup, how it's actually happening since the past 1 year. And then what success looks like. It is still preliminary stage, but I'll try to give a sort of a outlook of how it looks like, and then I'll end the presentation with my closing remarks. So as I said earlier, the Constitution, Nepal Constitution of Nepal 2015 sort of clearly defines water supply and sanitation, both as a fundamental right. So as we are entering the implementation phase of the national regulation for safe and inclusive sustainable WAS, So why actually regulation matters? This is quite important because Nepal said, yes, we need the regulation. And then in the past, since yesterday, there have been series of sessions actually focused on the regulation itself, and then the need for it to be more, the focus should be on capacity building, yes. And then the other need is also to reach out more easily to the people whom it really matters, where these regulations are made for. So the other why regulation is required is also because it's more of a fragmented service, and then delivery needs to be very credible, fair, transparent, and then there needs to be a regulatory system within a certain system. Some will have it from the federal government, some will have it from the provincial. In Nepal, it's the 3 tiers of government that the new constitution defines. There's the federal structure, and then the provincial structure, and the local government. So water and sanitation, the majority of it, the responsibility falls under the local governments. And the third reason why regulation actually matters is because regulation ensures service quality, financial viability, accountability, and user protection as well. So below I have actually outlined 4 agreeable, international standards on regulatory functions of a WAS regulation. Number 1 is tariff setting. The other one is also licensing and performance monitoring, as well as sector government enhancement is also required. And then the other one is ensuring equity, because there could be people in the population who will not be able to offer that services. So there needs to be a clear guideline of a sort where the safe sanitation services as well as water supply is reachable to all, sanitation for all. So these are the legal foundations where the regulations is based upon. The Water and Sanitation Act 2022 clearly establishes regulatory mandate, and then followed by the Water and Sanitation Regulation 2025. That was promulgated on January 2025. It operationalizes sort of service licensing, tariff inspection, and compliance. And then there's the WAS Policy 2023 with principles of equity, inclusion, service quality also mentioned there. And then there's also the Water Quality Standard 2022 and Domestic Wastewater Standard 2023. I have a QR code at the end of my presentation, so the details of, if you want, the copies of that can also be available there. So the service operation landscape, I'll try to describe how it is actually operating in the Nepali context. It basically, from a larger to a average, and then the third person is very scattered across the country. So, for example, in the context of a larger service provider, that is focused in the capital city of Nepal, like the Kathmandu Valley. So the asset owner is mostly the Kathmandu Water Management Board, whereas the service provider is the Kathmandu Upattaka Khanepani Limited, or KUKL, we call it. And then the second model is actually slightly focused more on the municipality level. It's the Municipality Water Supply Management Board that actually is focused on the urban municipalities, the first model. And then the second model is sort of rural board, is focused more on the rural municipalities. The other one is Nepal Water Supply Corporation that operates in 23 urban cities. And then the last one are the more scattered ones. That is mostly Water Supply and Sanitation Users Committee. So at the Water Supply and Sanitation Users Committee level, there's also the ones that operate, the municipalities that operate the FSTPs and desludgers in very limited number of municipalities. In this context, India is much ahead, Bangladesh is much ahead, Nepal is slowly catching up in terms of treatment plants. So institutional and regulatory landscape is mostly among the three tiers of government. It's the federal, provincial, and local government. The federal government, the ultimate focal ministry is the Ministry of Water Supply that looks after the governance and coordination, as well as it oversees licensing, inspection, and tariff. And in the federal structure, there's the Department of Water Supply and Sanitation Management, as well as the tariff is settled by another company, that's the Water Supply and Sanitation Service Tariff Fixation Committee. So at the provincial level, it's the province WAS legal provisions, as well as in the local, it's a local level WAS provisions. I'm just rushing through this slide, and then it's mostly recently there was this Service Regulation Coordination Division that was developed in the country. So it's actually led by the Deputy Director General, and then there's Service Regulation and Information Management Unit with one STE, as well as Water Supply and Sanitation Service. So this is the basic structure that they've come up with and has already been in operation. So mostly what has been done since the regulation was approved. So first, what the government did was 12 pilot service providers were selected for the regulation rollout. And then there was a Regulation Coordination Committee in the Department of Water Supply itself. Budget allocation for rollout and inspector deployment has been made. There are drafts that have been worked out. And then there's mentor and mentee regulatory partnership between SPAN Malaysia, that's the regulatory body in Malaysia, and Nepal regulatory entities to draw from its success. So this is where UN Habitat is mostly focused on. The key performance indicators, there are 8 under the water supply and then 5 under the sewered and non-sewered network with FSTP. So the 12 the 12 service providers have been selected accordingly, the large, the medium, and then the small ones, so that they can also learn from each other when it's rolled out. So what success looks like by 2027? First, we will have 12 service providers benchmarked and fully licensed. Then we will have tariff system institutionalized and reviewed every 3 years. There will also be inspector compliance monitoring of KPIs, as well as regulation and roadmap operationalized nationally, functioning regulators and regulated service providers. Performance report cards will also be issued by 2027. As I end my presentation, I have 3 concluding remarks that can be Nepal's moment. First is to accelerate change in WAS regulations. So leverage startups and SPAN's experience to fast track the regulation itself. Second one is to turn law into action. And then the final one is to lead and inspire, strengthen governance and position Nepal as a regional beacon itself. So as I end my presentation, these are 3 publications I have at the table. So this one is the Water and Sanitation Regulation. You can take, and then this one is a compendium of best practices. The WAS regulation case study that I was presenting is also within here. And this publication was developed with our regional, one of our regional partners, the DASRA's Athena Infonomics. And then this one is the Nepal sanitation journey that sort of documents the Nepal's sanitation journey, safe sanitation journey. So thank you very much.
Comprehensive presentation. I just had a question on, you mentioned something on service providers being benchmarked and licensed. So what does that fully benchmarked mean for a service provider?
So it's actually 12 service providers have been selected. So among them, there are larger entities as well as the small ones scattered across. So mostly the difference between benchmark and licensed one is because now the regulation actually has a provision where these entities have to be now licensed by the local government. So that's the licensing provision which wasn't done before. So now this is going to take place. So benchmark is that they will have a certain quality standards that they have to maintain. That has to that comes in form of a report card.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for sharing us the journey of Nepal. And I'm sure there could be some more points for discussions as well as questions, and we would have them towards the end of the session. With this, we move to towards our next presentation, which is on smart technology approach for WASH. I will request Ms. Aditi Dwivedi and Ms. Jigisha Jaiswal from Center for Water and Sanitation at CRDF-CEPT University to deliver the presentation. Aditi and Jigisha are program leads at CWAS, with both having 10+ years of experience at CWAS. Their work spans urban WASH, FSM, water security and quality, digital initiatives and capacity building. They have been supporting at the city level as well as the state level with programs including the Swachh Bharat mission across Maharashtra and Gujarat. Aditi and Jigisha, over to you.
Thank you, Kasturi. Hello everyone. I think for the past 2 days we've been hearing regarding the vulnerability and the climate impact, the recurrent climate events happening across India, across globe. So today I think we are going to continue over these discussions and see how these impacts, what are the next steps, what are the quick solutions, quick wins we can see across these areas. To bring into further discussions, I think we also discussed, there's a in various other technical sessions, the distinct nature of challenges a larger city has versus how a small city acts. So we've been hearing and discussing on how these small cities have the big impacts of this climate change and the effects. Where we see these cities are sometimes unprepared, they do not think with a lens of climate resilience, because already they have a lot of other burden to work on. And further we see them having various different challenges of inadequate staff. I think our previous keynote speaker, Kate, also mentioned regarding the human resources challenges which are observed now across the world. These are enormous deficiency of the staff, I can say, in the smaller cities. There's a distinct budget size where we see the larger corporations have a lot of financing and funds flowing in, while the smaller cities are many times dependent on only the grants which flow from the central and the national government, and again the insufficient infrastructure available in these cities. However, even though we have these challenges, we still look forward to how we can achieve these SDGs which are derived, and to a level, to the extent possible. And so we have now worked upon and are exploring various technical solutions which would help in not completely mitigating, but supporting the earlier challenges which these small and medium towns face. So we have a plethora of options and exploring and ideas which are to be explored. And I would hand over to Aditi, who will take up through all the smart technologies which are available, which will help in addressing these challenges. Over to you. Thank
Thank you, Jigisha. This research is based on a landscape review done by us about how technology can help scale some of these climate resilience or WASH development solutions. And even though we see that a lot of funding and policy orientation is there in India around achieving the SDGs, there is a real need for digital technologies to modernize WASH, bring WASH into the 21st century rather than just pipes and pumping. And this is because we know that the main reason is the scale and variability of development needs in urban India. The population is huge, the amounts of water that needs to be supplied, these are huge, and then some problems, for example segregation, are very resource intensive, while there are other problems in which, for example, sewer cleaning, in which we need to move away from human touch, and that is why technology is really needed to reduce the the need of human resource actually doing the things by hands, and that is why digital technology is the need of the hour. And the other thing is, if we really want to achieve our government's vision of a developed India by 2047, Viksit Bharat by 2047, there is a need to move to a developed mindset also. And in WASH, this means moving from infrastructure creation to service delivery, and for that data-driven planning is needed, and data-driven planning requires digital data and continuous real-time monitoring. So there is a need to go from firefighting mode that sort of Jigisha hinted at, that small cities are always working in that condition, in a firefighting mode, towards a predictive management sort of mode. And there are a host of government programs that are supporting this digital shift and are providing the push for digital integration. And how can digital technology help in WASH? It can help process large data sets. It can help collect large data sets that constantly collect data that may be used to convert it into actionable information, and then that actionable information, for that technology can also be used to do those actions. For example, IoT devices that can collect the data, and then the sensors can also start the pump, stop the pump based on the data analysis of data that they have collected. And Indian cities are now taking it up in a big way, and you may have seen that urban mobility is the biggest adopter, with cities adopting those camera-based license plate recognition and challan sort of systems. All of us must have at least one experience of getting hit by a helmet or stop sign challan at some point, automated one. So in our experiences, this study is based on a landscape of things, landscape of areas where technology is being taken up. Property tax assessment is the second biggest area where cities are taking it up, and this is a very intensive exercise. Cities rely a lot on property tax revenue, but then it needs to be updated every few years for it to be fair. But then it is a very intensive exercise, and there are examples where cities are using drone systems and AI and computer vision to sort of map these things automatically and reduce the need for human intervention. Another example is France and Greece, where they used satellite images and ran it through AI to sort of find undeclared swimming pools which are taxed in a different way, and that led to increased income and then fair taxation in the cities that they were applied in. In Gurgaon, property tax collection efficiency was very low, and what they did was apply a very simple solution, an AI chatbot, which just called people who had the largest arrears dues, and most of the people it ended up calling, it was a robot that was calling people, but they ended up paying the dues because of that call. In the water sector, one of our ideas is that In the same way that linking of databases, identity proofs in the banking sector, that has revolutionized the banking sector and income tax, then this help urban services. So in one of our studies we found that in order to get a water connection in some cities, we have to citizen has to produce up to 20 legal documents, and then that sort of leads to people not taking connections at all or taking illegal connections. So can this combining of data sets with technology, with the AI age, can this improve last mile connectivity? In the, I just gave a presentation in a different session on lakes and remote sensing. We are trying to see if satellite images and remote sensing can help, with machine learning, give actionable insights for city city decision makers who are not as technical. We use this system in Nandasan Lake, where we ended up giving recommendations to the local government on why this particular lake was not behaving in the way it should as a lake, and then the adjoining plot was flooding. And then we are also working on flood risk mapping using remote sensing for a couple of cities. In the area of solid waste management, segregation of waste is a huge problem, with cities generating tons of waste which cannot be segregated by hand. It is a very intensive exercise, and we see here in Sharjah where they are using AI and robotics for putting waste on a conveyor belt, and then computer vision and a robotic arm to sort of automatically segregate it. In Australia, this company has used their huge database of photographs of trash to train a system which can detect waste trapped in plastic bags, and then they can automatically detect it and reject it from being collected. TrashCon is a more simpler solution where segregation, they are using a mix of mechanical as well as digital systems to build a machine that they have built a machine that can automatically segregate waste. In the area of solid waste collection, which is again a problem, we are seeing a use of GIS-based route optimization, which can lead to fuel savings, cost savings, human resource savings for cities. We have all these autonomous trash bots that are coming up that can move autonomously in water bodies, collect data, and a lot of CCTV and drone-based surveillance, which is my favorite out of all of these. They take this network of CCTV that city has already put in, and they just use that feed, put in a layer of computer vision AI over it, and they can sort of detect where garbage has been accumulating and send automatic alerts. Just 1 more minute. Similarly, a series of IoT devices we have looked at in the sewer and stormwater drainage infrastructure, which can help pre-predict that this drain is about to overflow, this drain is choked, or what is the water quality inside it, to help cities prepare before monsoons or be not in a state of crisis during flooding. Thus, there is a need to bring these small city governments into the age of technology. And while India's bigger cities, which have been given the funding of smart cities, they are building integrated command and control centers. The reality of small cities in India is this, where there is no digital data for AI to work on. It's all in papers. We see all these wrapped gutters of paper lying in government offices, and the supply and the services are so chaotic. You see all these wires going into the drain that there is no place to, we don't know where to put the sensor. So government has tried to make up for this by this data maturity assessment framework, which was unfortunately only applied to the 100 smart cities, where they are looking at the data assessment technology capacity of needs of the city and sort of ranking them and prompting them to bring it up to speed. This needs to extend to all cities to bring India into the age of technology, to bring WASH into the age of technology. And I will leave this presentation with the caution, technology uptake with caution. We have heard of the water footprint of AI, and the more and more we start using technology, we will find more issues with climate. The amount of electricity used in even sending one thank you email or even one hi on WhatsApp chatbot stacks up, and that will create more problems. The other problem is the issue of garbage in, garbage out. So in things like AI and automatically analysis in systems. If you put in garbage, it will spit out garbage, and there's the infamous case of Grok AI on X that trained on users' comments and then has become biased like them. So there are some things women can still do better, but we still need technology to bring India into the modern age. Thank you.
Thank you, Aditi, for that interesting presentation. I'm sure it must have created some interest and questions among the audience. Anyone has any quick question? Yes, sir, please.
Myself, Bhupesh Gupta, and it was very good presentation. Sorry, I came in between. And last thing was very, very important, like water footprint and use of AI. So like if we are using AI and we are using more semiconductors and generation of chips require a lot of water, lot of water, right? So what are your views that how we can balance it? That's it, that is my question.
We are the Center for Water and Sanitation, and before we were working on technology in WASH, we were working on reuse of water and saving non-revenue water. So that is my answer to this question.
Thank you so much. With this, we move towards our last but one of the important topics. The presentation is on building resilience in small towns, disadvantaged communities through decentralized WASH infrastructure and services. Learnings from Chikkabalapura and Chintamani from Karnataka. Our presenter is Ms. Anjali Wagle from Technology Informatic Design Endeavour, Tide NGO. Anjali is an environmental engineer and assistant manager at Integrated Water Management at Tide NGO with experience in WASH, climate change and sustainable practices. Her work focuses on capacity building, practical implementation and advancing climate resilient and ESG oriented solutions for long-term impact. Anjali, over to you.
Good afternoon, everyone. I want to briefly introduce about our organization, which is Technology Informatics Design Endeavour. It's a Bangalore-based NGO which is active since 1993, and our mission is to use technology in such a way that it supports sustainable communities and builds resilience. One of the key projects that we are working is called Integrated Water Management. This is funded by BMZ Germany and in collaboration with BODA South Asia. We have been working on this project since from last 5 years, and in the first phase in 2 towns, Chikbalapura and Chintamani, we reached almost 20,000 beneficiaries, and in our current phase there is almost 2 lakh population that we are aiming to reach. And under this project we have given several WASH activities related support to state government of Karnataka as well. And I think from yesterday we have been hearing why the focus is on small towns and why it's what is the gap in between in terms of funding, focus and technical expertise, as well as shortage of manpower. So it's the same reason why we have taken our interest in small towns as well. And the municipal town panchayats, town municipal councils or city municipal councils, they face a big problem while delivering these WASH services to the people of those towns. And recovery of the cost is also, revenue is very less, and in one of the town we found out that it's less than 15%, and there is no technically skilled enough manpowers. Like there are WTPs, there are STPs, but there is no enough manpower to oversee and maintain it. That is the major problem, and this situation becomes worse when there is a climate stress as well. And in those situations, as said, they will be in a firefighting mode, and they will be they will respond in an emergency mode rather than having any long-term plan, which is similar to the reactive crisis management. To move away from this and have a long-term planning, we introduced Chintamani WASH Climate Action Plan. there are many climate action plans developed by WRA and other practitioners in India, and here we listed down the major action points the municipality needs to focus on, and we have developed one framework called Inclusive Climate Sensitive WASH Framework to analyze the climate hazard vulnerability of the WASH services and infrastructure in the town. And the study context, these two towns are very near to Bangalore, which is the state capital of Karnataka, and population is, as you can see, and these two towns come under semi-arid dry region, and they do face high temperatures, erratic rainfalls, and drought-like situations. One important observation is like Chikballapura has lakes, but it's been revived with the treated used water from the STP water that we are getting from Bangalore, and Chintamani has lakes. All the lakes are polluted. They are entirely dependent on groundwater. So decentralized WASH works better in small towns because it can be scalable. With the limited funds we can implement it, while the centralized one need more technical manpower and high initial upfront as well. So across all of our studies, our major focus is on UGD operators, watermen, sanitation workers, and informal workers, any women SAGs that are working in waste sector, as well as slum population. And I'm going to tell a few case studies from Chikballapura and Chintamani on various WASH sector, which will be having focus on all these people. And the first intervention I'm going to talk about is called IoT-based borewell automation, which we have done in Chintamani because it is entirely dependent on groundwater. And the technology includes IoT-based controllers, flow meters, and water level sensors. Our major focus is on watermen and the CMC, and it has benefited them. They can operate this using, they have a dashboard and there is an application which they can operate using mobile, and we have given them trainings how they have to operate it, how they can remotely operate the pumps. Otherwise, every time the electricity goes, they have to go to that station and they have to operate from there. While there are 12 pump houses in the Chintamani town, it's been piloted to one of the pump house for 9 borewells that are connected to this. And this has reduced the operational cost almost up to 2 to 5 lakhs for one of the pump house, and also power saving as well as water saving has been observed, and we are pushing the municipality to plan their upcoming municipal budget in such a way that they can incorporate this in their planning as well. So the second intervention I'm going to talk about is, it's a colony called Kandavara colony, which is which comes under municipal area itself, but it is divided from the major town with the lake. That's the reason we have given decentralized solutions to this colony. The colony had housing, like the people, rag pickers and sanitation workers, they were living under temporary shelters here, and the housing was provided under Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana. But they did not have any, they had one public toilet which was very in a poor condition, and people were usually going outside for open defecation and all. So we connected all these, there were 91 households, and we connected all the households. In first phase, we are connected using simplified sewers, and also built a community toilet here, and nature-based solution, DWATS facility was given, 10 KLD1. Also, it depends on, we were talking about in the morning session, how the political will becomes very important to work with the municipalities in these towns. So in our first phase, we had limited land and we set up a DWATS facility. In second phase, we could build a trust with the municipality, and they gave us enough land to set up another facility called Hummus Bioreactor of 20 KLD capacity. And these two, along with this, there is one community composting and park for children as well. We have set it up, and solar street light has been provided, and also community awareness on open defecation and littering, how they have to stop it, and how they have to segregate. Everything has been given. Now one sanitation worker oversees this facility. He uses the treated wastewater for landscaping purposes. He trims down the plants when they outgrow, and everything has been overseen by the community itself. And the third one is like solid waste management. When I say this, it's not one thing. It cannot be decentralized one, but it has many things that we have done, but I'll just focus on one thing. Using under climate action plan, we have done waste flow diagram. Under that, we got to know how much waste is getting generated, collected, and what is the valuable that can be recovered, and also where the leakages are happening. And in this, we have given many supports, but the major one I'm going to tell is one of the renovation of the DWCC facility in Chintamani. We have renovated using, the grants given by our funder, and also we have made the municipality to spend almost 15 lakhs so that they can renovate this and operate it. So this has climate resilient features like heat insulation using radiant barriers and reflective paint over the roof. Also, there is turbo ventilators for air circulation, and also inside only we are planning one small room where they can sit and rest, the people who are going to work here. And the operation model we are planning is there is one informal SHG. So we are giving trainings to them. They have been formalized under Namaste scheme, and we are planning to make them operate this facility so that their livelihood can be, they can figure out their livelihood. So all of these sanitation workers, SHGs, they are overseeing the community composting units as well. And the fourth intervention is sanitation workers resting facility. This we have done in Chintamani and Chikballapura, and it's been institutionalized at state level, and we have launched it in Directorate of Municipal Council with the help of Minister as well. And they have given this, we have prepared one toolkit. This has been given to the DMA, and they are going to replicate it in 312 ULBs across Karnataka. So our key insights are technology should be localized, and resilience cannot be built only with the technology. Resilience should be technology, social systems, and it's a collaboration of institutions as well. Yeah, I'll take one more minute. Yeah, and also service resilience and the delivery of service becomes important, and it depends on the well-being of the workforce. And we have to integrate between all the WASH sectors, and long-term handholding is very important for the sustainability of the infrastructures that we plan. So everything can be, decentralized systems are easy to plan, and also it can be implemented by aligning with the municipal funds, SPM, or whatever other funds that are available. And also it's not like you are doing one thing and leaving it after the project period gets over. You have to train the people, you have to give SOP and make them aware of these technologies as well. So I want to conclude this session, and also you can see more studies that our partners are also doing in this. The scanner might not be working. You can just Google WASH towns and you will get all the resources. Thank you. Any questions?
Do you have any questions? Maybe I have a question. So you spoke about the 2 cities and you have developed a climate action plan. So I just wanted to ask you that have you also looked at the entire value chain? I think you spoke about the one for solid waste management, but for sanitation and water, have you also looked at the entire value chain and also maybe the emissions that happens at every stage of it? Yeah.
We have looked upon it, and we have conducted one GHG, we have checked what is the GHG that is being emitted from all the sectors, sanitation, water, and even the solid waste management. There are active landfill legacy waste sites in these towns. We have checked, it's been remediated at current stage. We have checked it, and in waste sector, there is a high emission in these 2 towns.
Thank you so much. With this, we conclude with today's session. I think it was quite an interesting session and quite diverse, I must say. We had examples from Nepal, from India. We looked at innovations from the systems side of it, wherein we talked about how regulations happen, how small and medium towns could be supported by improving the systems at the state and the local level for providing climate resilient wash services. We also looked at the technology part of it. Small and medium towns do have challenges in terms of, it could be human resource or the financing, but we looked at interesting technologies which even they could take up to provide improved services. We also had a look at Vetriver as one of the technology, one of the plant which could help in disaster management as well as reducing pollutants. So thank you all of you for your presentations. Do we have any quick last minute insight or any question that anybody wants to ask? We have some 2 minutes, and thank you so much for sticking to the time. That allows me to give some brownie minutes for further discussion. Okay, maybe then we head towards our verbal presentation. I would request everyone to come on the stage, and we could have a group photo for this panel, for this technical session. And after this, Khali sir.